Here?
It's here?
Yes. All the energy flowing through the wedge comes together and collects here.
Is that thing a Zoogle? Holy crap, it's huge!
A central core and a guardian?
Once we beat that thing, it'll stop the wedge from taking in any more astral energy, right?
It seems we're in for a fight regardless.
Here it comes. Stay sharp, everyone!
Is it over? What the hell is going on?
Rinwell! It's too dangerous! Stay back!
You okay?
Hey, are you crying?
I'm not the only one.
I heard it. Whatever it was, I heard it.
As did I. I'm not sure I'd call it a voice, but it was there.
What in the world just happened?
It looks like that beam of light has stopped.
Then is it safe to say we've avoided oblivion for the time being?
I can still sense a faint glimmer of energy, though. It hasn't completely dispersed.
You can tell? Rinwell, your senses seem a lot sharper than before, don't they?
And you said you heard that voice, right?
I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I don't feel bad, though.
If trace amounts, however small, do remain, then it leaves us no choice. We must destroy the entire structure.
What do you suggest? We bring it down piece by piece?
Once that's done, what do we do then?
We go to Lenegis. Even if we could destroy the whole wedge like he suggested, it'd only buy us time. The fact they sent this thing down tells me they're not giving up this planet without a fight.
There's also the matter of the Renis Alma. Its circumstances still have yet to be truly resolved.
But how do we even get to Lenegis?
What if we hotwire one of their starships? There's gotta be one on the planet somewhere, right?
Starships are only seen on Dana at the start and end of the Crown Contest. Otherwise, they remain on Lenegis. Believe it or not, we Renans down here aren't quite as free to come and go as one might think.
Great. Well, I'm out of ideas then. We definitely don't have the tech to build a starship. And even if we found a Renin who'd help, who knows how long that'd take.
Yeah. Waiting for a starship to come down from Lenegis would probably be quicker than that.
Wait. Alphen, when you came down from Lenegis, it had to have been in a starship of your own, right?
Right. Oh, of course.
You can't be serious. That was 300 years ago. There's no way it's still gonna work.
But Alphen didn't wake up until a few years ago. That means it had to have still been functioning that whole time to keep his body preserved.
Indeed. You wouldn't happen to remember where you landed, would you?
My memories around where I parked are still a little hazy, but I do know that I woke up in Calaglia, so chances are it's still in the area. At least it's a place to start. Luckily, that realm's my old stomping ground, so I should be able to get us some help finding her. Our first port of call is Ulzebek.
Back where you first started out.
Yeah, along with my dad.
You okay? You don't look so good.
I think I'm just a little seasick, that's all.
Liar.
Huh?
You heard me. You've never been good at hiding your emotions, Xion.
Excuse me? Just what do you... No. You're right. I'm sorry.
Is it about Alphen?
No. Not just him.
Something you can't talk about?
Rinwell, I'm not like the rest of you.
Of course you are! No, I'm serious. Back when we first met, I think maybe then I did think we were different. But now I know that isn't true. You and I are the same, Xion. We're alike in more ways than you know. If any of us is different, it's me. I'm a Danan who can use magic. I may be the last. My family and I have been living in hiding as long as I can remember.
Everyone has their own pain that can be hard for other people to understand. I saw the two of you talking and thought you could use a third wheel. So, here I am. Sorry.
If anyone's the odd one out here, it's me. Believe me, you don't want to listen to my problems.
Want me to go?
I didn't say that.
I get that you must have a lot circling around that head of yours. And that's okay. Whatever's worrying you right now, you're allowed to worry about it. And you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I know I'm not a Renin like you, or a mage like Rinwell. I'm not a sovereign, maiden, or lord. I'm just a Danan who used to be a slave. But regardless of all that, I'm here for you, Xion.
That goes for me too. We all want to be there for you. Me and Hootle and even the boys. I promise. I mean, that is what friends are supposed to do, right?
I said this to Alphen, and now I'll say it to you. You're not alone in this.
Thank you. Rinwell. Kisara.
And right on cue, I think I should make my way back and lie down for a bit. My battle with this ship continues.
Yeah, I better head back too. We wouldn't want the guys thinking they're in charge. Can you imagine Law at the helm? Who knows what kind of trouble we'd get into?
Still, if that's true, then it's all the more reason I have to do this.
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head too.
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule, I'm up to my ears in Dahnan disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegis.
Lenegis? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! That's enough! Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't like the one that Almeidrea sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave. We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Xion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renis Alma, too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Xion can finally get rid of her thorns. Xion?
Huh? Yeah.